Okay, so you know how we do deep dives into the news here, right?
Yeah.
Well, you send in this article about Mike Johnson, this congressman.
Uh-huh.
And honestly, this whole House Speaker situation, it's wild.
It's nuts on
Like,
like
this whole thing with Trump endorsing Johnson,
Oh yeah.
it feels like we're in uncharted waters, even for politics.
I mean, I've been doing this for a while,
I,
and I have to say this is
uh,
definitely a first.
so for our listeners who might not be glued to the news like we are,
Yeah.
could you just like give us the rundown, like the Spark Notes version?
Sure, yeah. Basically, we've got this race for House Speaker, right?
Mhm.
And Donald Trump just came out and endorsed Mike Johnson,
Right.
which, wouldn't be that strange, except for the whole Trump isn't president thing.
That's like, does his endorsement even matter anymore?
It's a really good question. It reminds me a little of Teddy Roosevelt. Like, even after he left office, his endorsement still carried a lot of weight.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I see what you're saying.
But whether Trump still holds that kind of sway,
Right.
especially after everything that's gone down, that's a whole other question.
And don't even get me started on the whole McCarthy thing.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like the House lost its head honcho, you know,
Absolutely. It's chaos, pure chaos.
and everyone's scrambling for power.
Exactly. And it's not just individuals, it's these whole factions within the Republican Party. Like, you've got the Freedom Caucus, those guys are hardcore.
Oh, yeah, they definitely made their voices heard.
They're a force to be reckoned with, for sure.
And then you have the more, I don't know, traditional Republicans.
The moderates, yeah,
Right, the moderates.
who aren't exactly on board with the whole Trump train.
Right.
So Johnson's in a tough spot. He's definitely conservative, but now he's got to navigate these different groups.
So with Trump's endorsement, do you think it'll help him or hurt him?
It could really go either way.
Right. Like alienate some, bring in others.
It's a gamble, that's for sure. And it's not without precedent, Think back to Sarah Palin endorsing Christine O'Donnell.
Oh, yeah. Back in 2010.
That's the one.
Yeah.
And that completely backfired. It scared away all the moderate voters.
Right. So this could really backfire on Johnson.
It's definitely a possibility. I mean, sure, it might fire up Trump's base.
Right.
But it could also push away those who are looking for something different.
Something new. Yeah.
Exactly.
And you mentioned Johnson is from Louisiana.
Right.
But honestly, I hadn't even heard of him before all this.
Yeah, he's not exactly a household name.
So will Trump's endorsement even be enough to push him over the edge? Like, is that all it takes?
I don't know. Name recognition is huge in politics, right?
Oh, for sure.
And the article you sent,
Uh-huh.
it shows that Johnson's really leaning into this endorsement.
Okay, so he's using it to his advantage.
Definitely.
Right.
But ultimately, it all boils down to how the House votes.
The internal politics of it all.
Exactly. And you know what's really interesting?
What's that?
It puts all the other candidates in this crazy predicament.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Do they try to out-Trump Johnson to get his base? Or do they distance themselves?
Oh, that's juicy.
It's going to be fascinating to watch it all play out.
It's like a political chess match.
It really is.
Okay, but let's say Johnson does become speaker.
Okay.
What does that mean for the House as a whole? Like, will anything actually get done?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? I mean,
Sure.
Can he work with the Senate? Can he work with the president?
Right, because they're not going anywhere.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you need compromise to get anything done in this town.
Oh, for sure.
If Johnson is just seen as Trump's puppet, it's going to be gridlock city.
Nothing will get done.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay, so this is bigger than just who sits in that big chair.
Oh, absolutely.
It's about the direction of the entire country.
It really is.
And it kind of makes you wonder,
Yeah.
what does the Republican Party even stand for anymore? Like after Trump?
It's the question everyone's asking, I think. And it's one we all need to consider as this whole saga unfolds.
I like that. Food for thought.
Indeed.
Well, this has been really insightful. Thanks for walking us through this political maze.
Anytime, happy to help.
And to our listener, you heard it here first. This whole House Speaker race is far from over.
Definitely not.
Keep those news alerts on because the stakes are high.
No kidding.
This isn't just about one position. It's about the future of U.S. politics.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
A deep dive you don't want to miss.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned indeed.